Welcome back to the Dreamhack Opens. The grand finals is before us. Game 3 just concluded. That's the halfway mark. It's Monster D Face and Sancho West here calling all the action. And hey, Game 4 is just underway now shortly.
Woo, Monster, you know, after halftime, every duo is going to make some adjustments. Let's see who makes the most important adjustments. Already, we saw some of the bottom of the board make some great adjustments and take out some of the top dogs. And speaking of the need to make an adjustment, it's Alex and Nate we saw briefly on the top right. But we're going to continue on with this early drop here of Snag and Felix going against Salon and Flo. And right now, it's 1-for-1. Who comes out on top here? And Salon has a big time.
Oh, no.
Back to the dome. Pistol find. And Snag gets snagged early, and so does Felix. Holy, man.
Oh, that's so bad for them. Third place now out of the competition. Andelix takes the pickaxe fight up against, who was that? Was that Vidal there?
Yeah.
Oh, no. And let's get to the side. He actually finds himself a shotgun. So it seems like he might have actually swung this fight back around. Chug splashes are good for Vidal up above, but he's got a shotgun. I don't think your chug splashes are going to matter much. Noah's going to come through to back him up. Here comes the big heals now, too. Okay. Andelix and Nate, they have been at the disadvantage of this every single time. Now, even more so. Shotguns, you can hear it on the other side of the wall. This is really bad for Nate and Andelix.
Yeah, Alex, especially because he's a lonesome dove all by himself. He gets converted into Siphon and then shooken down as well. And 5 points shortly here. And now they have the information as Nate disengaged and went all the way down to the boardwalk. Pretty much sure he's going to find Park Place and maybe get some elims. But it's Rifle and Slicks here, the battle in the orchard. We saw so many teams here earlier. And what of an explosive elim trying to get caught. Almost got away with the shockwave, but not so fast, Monster. Rifle gets that 5-point play right then and there.
Yeah, becoming legends, Rifle and Slicks. BL making big moves in the space for EU. Low and Steady wins the race here for the boys. They're doing a good job so far. But I wanna draw it back. I want to talk about the significance of Snag and Felix at the drop spot. I really hope they switch up the drop or land somewhere else, right? They're trying to play for that power location, and it has been literally hit or miss. The 2 games that they've managed to stay alive past the drop spot, they have accrued enough points to be in 3rd place. So clearly they know what they're doing if they can stay alive. Like, why not play it safer, right?
Right. I mean, I like that idea. The thing about Stealthy Stronghold is kind of let the loot is sparse. The floor loot, maybe you could go a little bit far up north to grab yourself a tactical shotgun and then encampment back there. But I agree with you. Something has to be changed, because taking those 50-50s is going to cost you a tournament run. But now we're going to stick them to a board to Slicks and Rifle. Rifle is down as the house is on fire right now. And Slicks is going to do his best to survive. Is Uri, who is kind of in the middle of the pack as well. It's kind of holding on tight, but man, so much major shakeups already. You mentioned 3rd place going down and Yuri going down to Slicks and Rifle. And the only reboots you see is down south. Slicks and Rifle are just feeling a little bit. 14 limbs, hey, that's a very hot start, and they're gonna have to look for the reboot. And speaking of, looking for the reboot, as we're gonna get a nice show of emotes here, I did see in the feed that Pre2 did get knocked. And so that is the number 10. The other half of the number 10 duo of Adon is going down, so.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Serene and Yuri, 9th place.
Yeah.
Okay. They were 1 elimination away from being in top 7, 2 eliminations away from being just outside of top 5, to show you guys how tight the top 10 standing is. So them falling now is a massive setback. And again, to Slicks and Rifle, Slicks with the big clutch there, he's gonna have to get the save. So more space now available within the top 10 standings. 3rd place is out, 9th place is out. We saw Wolfies find an elim in the feed, so they're still in the battle. But pay close attention for Curiosity, Putrick, Tayson, Thomas, Clement, Blackie. There's still a lot of names to keep an eye out on. Here's a team that is middling in the competition so far. This drop spot having more players now than it did before. Another team joining into the Colossal Coliseum here. Flowist is not looking good. No, he gets traded out. It's up to Andretta the clutch.
Yeah, it looks like Flowist and Andretta. And then again, this is a new POI introduced in Chapter 5. And already the adjustments, you have to make them on the fly, Monster. The semifinals, you get like a 30-minute break. You don't know exactly who's going to land in your new drop spot for the grand finals that you're kind of working with. And all of a sudden, you got 2 or 3 people contesting Colossal Coliseum. I mean, I'm trying to look at, is it worth the risk? Is Andretta here with a sneaky chill play? Just look at that. I'm telling you, man, peripheral visions in a third person shooter, you gotta take advantage of that. And Andretta, dude, getting sneaky with it, getting himself a reboot card and an opportunity to survive. But hey, Monster, they have always survived the first engagement with 1 person up. They always get the reboot, but eventually they get snuffed out quickly. So can Andretta Flawless just make a little bit more? You talk about middling. Yes, 75 points is middling, but we've been seeing the middle of the pack and the bottom of the pack make big moves here, especially in game 3.
And this is a worst case scenario. The zone's coming down south, which means the players up above, just north of that reboot van, they have to go that way anyways. They're going to cross paths. Vadil and Noah Riley obviously kick things off with a 10-point buff to their already strong 30-point lead. Steady and Teak being the closest to now close that gap. 40 points separate first and second place. Noah Riley and Vadil looking to do something only a few have ever done before, and that's go back-to-back on a grand finals, high stakes settings competition here in Fortnite. Very, very few players have ever done it. They are so close now.
Definitely. I mean, you think of Kenzel being one of them. I mean, it's just something something special about that. Oh my goodness, so the AR beam alongside with the clack of the pistol. Down goes MSR's players, Kiax. Wow, man. That's what I'm saying. You think you could get away with the freeze sand tunnel rotation, but if you get that advantage on sitting on top of Colossal Coliseum, that's Jinx and Esteros that were able to get, it's a wrap, bro. It was a wrap quickly.
The thing is too, sometimes you don't take damage to the sand, and then I swear sometimes it just it sneaks through, right? And that was one of those instances where he just got deleted before he can even react. Whatever that animation window is, that was it.
I was about to say that, man. When that animation, when you pop out of the sand tunnel, anybody who's played Fortnite this season knows about it. You're kind of stuck in these frames, and it doesn't matter what game it is. If it's a fighting game, if you get framed locked, whatever, before you know it, it's a wrap, dude. They're gonna take advantage of your misplay, and that was definitely not necessarily a misplay.
That's the Fortnite equivalent. No, it's the Fortnite equivalent of getting frame locked right there.
Exactly.
Oh, look at this. They're hunting now. T-Shipes here trying to play for his friend's reboot, his teammate's reboot. He's playing wide. He's gonna possibly play out into the zones. Therios and Jenks doesn't find him this time. It might let him go. They might not. It depends how much these 5 points mean to them. Let's see.
Wow. Talk about metaphor here. Noah Riley and Vadil and a Whiplash, and they're skyrocketing up their leaderboard. You talk about that 10-point buffer. It is growing higher and higher. It's up to Seti and Teak to kind of close the gap here. And just below that, it was snagged in Steelix, but we already saw folks, them getting taken out so early in their battle at the Stealthy Stronghold. Giannis and Reason there were sitting in 4th place going into this match. And of course, Tayson and Thomas HD out in the Salty Towers have an opportunity. But hey, maybe the bottom of the board can kind of show up.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Styler. Styler jumps out.
Yes.
Out of the vehicle. Drive-by with his teammate here. Vadil's gone. That's one way to take out the #1 fighting team in the lobby, right? You catch them off guard. You take advantage of the aggression. Put the fate into your hands. What are you gonna do, Noah? Do you stick this fight out against a team that's in top 10? Just outside of it? There's no way, right? They also have a hot hand. Noah's trying to take the battle. Tag's already good so far. He needs to, fight for the reboot card. Minimal. He does have plenty of shockwaves and heals to bounce back. This is realistically possible considering the heals that he has. Ooh, look how good he is. High level edit there with the double and then the block. Oh no, that's a misplay. That's a major misplay.
Man, now he's gonna have to go into the rest of this fight with a sprained ankle, possibly, and maybe go the rest of the match without his teammate. Vidil already converted into the reboot card and 5 points.
Yeah,
and
he's
yes,
gone.
he has to disengage. Oh, another sprained ankle, and he falls right on top of somebody, and that is it. Number one was styling and profiling, feeling good in the whiplash, probably jamming to tunes on Fortnite radio. But we talked about being animation locked, and you see Styler using that animation of jumping out of his car right into that one grid space, that intimate space, in the personal space, I would say, of Vidil, and he had no opportunity to box up. And before you know it, Vidil, trying to survive, gets clapped right in the back. And that's how fast it could happen here, folks, in the Fortnite Island. Speaking how fast, Air takes down. Now it's Maestro trying to orchestrate a 2v1 situation.
And this is Thomas HD and Tayson on the other side of the wall. Maestro, I mean, I hate to say it, looks like he's about as good as dead here now, as you have two of the hottest players waiting to tackle you. Maestro makes a mistake with the bouncer, the misplays. Oh, I see what he's doing. He's blowing all the inventory, so he doesn't allow them to use the bouncers. This is, oh, wow. Throwing everything out. Strategy or grief, call it what you will. Maestro lands some good shots. Hold up, though.
Dude, it could be
like regret. Like, would you regret it now? Like, you could have had a big pot, you know? Like,
yup.
Is what it is.
Oh my goodness.
They know what he did.
Yeah.
He deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to strike up the band. He was trying to orchestrate. He was doing some chaoticness. He had the horns coming in hot. He kind of improvised a little jazz riff and throwing his builds out, threw out some bouncers, and ultimately threw away his chance to survive in that engagement. He cracked somebody for over 100 plus, but he threw the big pot, and with that, threw out an opportunity, a golden opportunity, to kind of grab a great knock against some of the best in the EU region. And you know what, Monster? People are not going to let that go, brother. That's going to be something you're going to see everywhere on the socials.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, there is strategy to it if you really think about it, right? You don't want to give advantage to anyone, but either way, here we are. SLQ, Slovate, neither here nor there. One player down, two player down. They're out. It's going to be a trade for Dan, and Shade. Again, another squad sneaking, creeping their way up. 20 points off of eliminations already. 4 elims for them. That is big time. We didn't even count them in when I was saying names to look out for, but hold up, they thrust themselves into the competition now. That is a 19th placed team jumping up to what would be 11th now, just outside of there.
Man, and you're seeing again a replay, catching themselves a sandworm. Say the early bird gets the worm, the early beams definitely gets you that sandworm. Now we've seen Bond again on the back foot trying to run away of the terror that is Thomas the Train. Moving right down the tracks, on track for definitely to move up their leaderboard, considering we had Vidil and Noah Riley snagged and Steelix go down. So far, Teak and Seti are up on, and I see Janice and Reason most likely up on their feet as well. Hey, you definitely don't want to be down in this pit, Monster, with Stormline moving in shortly in about a minute.
Yeah, here we are, though. Thomas and Tayson already, like we said, saw what happened just a little bit ago. They took that fight, beat that team. Now it's time to move on, coming fresh out of the Stormline. Loadout, upgraded, looking nice. Seems like those big pots are still found their way to where they needed to be. You're staying advised, 109 points. Again, this is your 10th place team. This is your squad trying to hold on to that slight hope that they have to break the top 5 at this point. Now Advise doesn't have any health. On the other side, Wolfies just delete someone.
Savage.
Again, CRR and Wolfies do such a good job. Was it Savage?
No, yeah, it was. I wasn't saying that was a Savage play. It was Mr. Savage, the one and the only, getting deleted by Wolfies.
Look at this. Andretta falls here. That's the Colossal Coliseum team. Flois is by himself playing inside the Stormline. Does a good job in tagging the enemy up above. the picture-in-picture, though, show us what might happen and what might come, right? Because look at the storm line. All the teams are on the northwestern portion. They have to get here. Nateso lands in, and now it's inevitable. They're looking to cross paths with what might be Wolfies and company on the other side here.
Yeah, and nice look at the map here. It's going to give us a taste what's to come, and it's going to be a hefty dose of mountain and terrain and elevation and cliffs, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be an ultimate puzzle for all of our duos to solve right here and now. And we already saw a lot of teams are on the backside of it, definitely on the dead side. There's one of those teams that already have 4 elims that you mentioned that they're in the middle of the pack. We already took a peek at them, and they're moving their way up as much as possible. Hey, you cannot forget, I cannot stress this so much, the theme of this EU region. And I'm so happy, as you mentioned, Monster, that we're closing out 2020 with the EU region. As we're seeing how deep it can be. And you're seeing that Mr. Savage got a taste of the sniper bullet from Z-Andy. So Z-Andy with 10 points, and that is why Mr. Savage eventually got cleaned up. He was already put in a disadvantaged state by that sniper shot from Z-Andy. Ripple effects, Monster, always causing tsunamis and capsizing other people's rides. Yeah,
but Benji's still up. You saw him for just a moment there, so still opportunity here for them to climb up. Here's Teak and Steady. Teak and Steady realistically have a major shot in coming back and taking first place. Advised, though, gets knocked out of the competition. X8 is going to be the one that finds the AR shots to the mark here. So down goes Advised. Nateso has to play for himself. And remember, they're fighting their way to the new storm line. Flip comes in. There goes the quick finish. Teak at 2 elims already. He has had the best average finals placement, which is going to be second of any player in Dreamhack so far. Remember, that was coming out of the solos track before that, and now carrying into these team-based game modes, looking to do this once again, possibly looking to up that average to 1.5 or so if they can take this win here.
It's interesting, you know, Ball at TW kind of talked about, you know, the difference between the solos and duos and trios and squads, and how duos is a completely different muscle from trios. And it's amazing to see Teak, who's able to pull off such an amazing solo run here at Dreamhack, apply that to duos so well. As you see in the feed, Blackie going down, actually Blackie knocking Wolfies right then and there. So Wolfies is going to look like he's going to be in that POV state of CRR rooting out his duo mate. And look at this. A lot of people congested, neighbors here at Misty Meadows, and they're gonna have to make their way up just the elevation, but down south is that big mountain looming in the distance, Monster.
And Blackie and Clement, by the way, are in 6th place. Wolfies and CRR were in 7th. So that is a direct collision of these top tiers fighting for one another's placement, one looking to hold the other down. CRR needs to come back now. He's by himself. This is another end game. We saw what happened when it ended here before within a city environment. It really favors into his loadout, but this time he doesn't have a compact SMG to lean on. This time he doesn't have that quick follow-up, high DPS weapon to melt players in boxes, and he doesn't have a teammate either. Chulix and Queasy, though, trying to play for top 10.
And speaking of people that were trying to play for the top 10, Benji gets eliminated. So that duo is gone and out. Benji was hiding in a house in Misty Meadows, and someone found him as Clementno picks up an Elam SS Roki. Snappy gets Nate, and Seti is still in this fight. So Seti could definitely make a move. Him and his duo mate can make a move to the top of the board, considering that big deal. And Noah are gone, but we're going to keep on with the story of Truex and Queasy using a nice hip-to-hip engagement to get himself a nice 2-piece. And Monster, look at that inventory. A Ripfish at play. And you definitely going to want to have that, considering the in-game could be around these mountains. But now it's going to move just a little bit north of that, closer to the lake.
Listen, that's what dreams are made of right there. Fully charged peek around the corner, right? Like, that's just clean. You never get to hit it. Like, not even in a pub game, you rarely just walk up on someone with a fully charged shot and get to land it. You talked about Seti and Teak. Seti actually gets sniped on the cross right there. Teak following right behind him. They are going to be able to survive that, but at what cost? It's going to hurt them a lot and slow them down. In the feed, Snape finds himself an Elam. CRR with the mountain figuratively and literally in front of him to climb here, as he needs to battle his way to the top 25. Placement is so close now. Aqua and Hen we had them high as far as their hopes to go, and they've underperformed in some way. They're just there. They had a phenomenal opens day. This is grand finals. This isn't opens.
Yeah, and I gotta say, most importantly, is that we all were looking for Aqua and Hen to kind of pop off. It was a newly formed duo that kind of came across the Dreamhack stage, literally over DMs. Aqua didn't have a duo mate. Hen hit him up in the DMs, and they kind of formed, and the synergy was starting to build. So that foundation that is only about, I mean, a couple of days old is being tested here. Hen has 2 limbs, and we all have seen in the FNCS trios, Hen has the ability to pop off and put people in his backpack. But can he gel with Aqua, the veteran who is looking for an opportunity to close out 2020 in style? And that will be a great story, a great bookend to the tale, and they get a great knock as they reach across the grid, across the layer, and Ryza is the victim in there, about to be slowly converted. But now we hear the Rift Fish going off as everyone is now moving up north closer to the lake area, and there it is. Bounces, oh no, Flick gets taken down. So now it's up to X8 to ride the ride solo.
Yeah, Flick is down there. That's a rough one. You saw the harpoon coming out of Hen and company, Aqua and them. There they go. They shockwave bouncer on out. They get split up pretty wide. Hen gets into the storm line. It's going to cost him 40 HP. On the other side, Blackie and Clement still alive. Snape is going to find Mira with a monstrous tag there. So the low ground has some serious players in play here. Jonathan Taston talking about the low ground, looking to come land down. They actually land right in that middle layer, not giving up this high ground. That's them setting and poising for possibly a hype play later. This is a spot that you go for the win in. Let's see though. Aqua on the other perspective, putting down shots on everyone. Where's Hen? Hen is here. Okay, they've gotten with one another.
At the same time, Monster, you're seeing Eyedrop and Snappy just giving up height at the moment. We're going to take a look. The Storm Sword sound is sounded, and about 11 players will have to fall. Eyedrop does fall as he was at height, and that's going to be a dangerous duo contesting right there. It is Aqua and Hen fighting for height, considering that this is going to go pushing more and more closer to that island here on the lake, and Aqua and Hen have a strong opportunity. But you mentioned, Monster, so many teams jockeying for position to retake, just like Janice, who we're seeing on that top right POV. It could be a moment in a blink of an eye, and before you know it, you're getting beamed and taken away from height. And that is always the challenge when you're holding height as a duos. So many different perspectives and so many different points of view can take away your height, as you're seeing Pink go down in the left side.
Yes, this is where you want Aqua, though. On high ground, 4 eliminations already. Let's see how many they can rack up. He is notorious for being in this position. This is a huge, huge momentous stride they're looking to ride right here. Remember, top teams are already gone. Top 9, top 7, top 5. Literally so many squads wiped out of the competition already. They can rocket their way up. The competition, the standings are going to be so close after this. And just look, Jonas still fighting to do the same here. He's one of those few that need to fall if they want more placement points. But either way, this is shaping out to be interesting. Reason, and again, still in the live too. I see Reason there, so it's not just Jonas there. He actually has his teammate. Teak finds 2 in the feed. Teak is still going. He's looking to take that first place. Hen gets overthrown on height. It's Queasy and Trulix. They're back up. Down goes Aqua. And all of a sudden now, the high ground hold is no good. It's no longer theirs.
Yeah, over the top, Trulix and Queasy go, and this is going to go over some existing builds. If Aqua and Hen were able to hold on just a moment longer, that would have been able for them to close the story on this game. But now a new contender on height is Trulix and Queasy, but we still have to keep tabs on Aqua, who is still not out. Yes, Hen is gone, so now Aqua has to do it by himself. With 3 E limbs, he does have some opportunity, does not have any movement. On your right of your screen, we do have Giannis making her way down in the mid layer, looking really good, fighting hip to hip alongside with this duo partner of Reason. So looking solid, but look at the mid layer, Monster. So many teams going at it, and now Aqua's no shield, and Aqua gets taken out.
There it is, and it's Jonas on the other side there. He also finds Clement, so down goes Clement. Down goes their 5th place team. This means that Jonas does get to propel up even further now. They do have shockwaves. He's going to go for height. You know he is. So is the low ground squads. But hold up. It's a matter of, do you go for low or do you fight high? How do you want to play this one out? In the low ground, Snape and Dan go toe-to-toe to take out Miro. It's a dirty trade down there. He doesn't have any health, though. Reason doesn't have any. Giannis has the HP lead. He's looking to play for the heal off. But Trulix doesn't want to allow this. It's a 1v1 situation now. If he gets the refresher, this is going to be good. Trulix gets taken out. But no, that's the waiting siphon. Giannis gets one as well. Can he get the final heals? It's up to him here. Yes, he does. This is a siphon too. There it is. More moments, and now it's down to the clock here. What is Queasy gonna do here now? He looks like he wants to come down. One shot will be enough, but no. The Storm does the rest. The timer was good.
Queasy making it look easy, but wow, so many teams made a push for the top of the board. We're gonna have to take a look at it all with our host, Hello Kelly. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break.